Yo, what's good, y'all? This is your boy Tony Sway in the building. Can't really see me too well, but yo, check out this view, man. The view is pretty ill right now. pretty pretty dope view at the moment. I like it. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. Thank you, Lord, for this view and the ability to make music. But yeah, this is just my normal webcam, so y'all can't see me that well. What's good, everybody? Grand Rising. It's your boy T Swizzy. Yo, I just felt like hopping on today. It's a very beautiful day outside, but I just felt like popping up with it and talking to everybody. Some of you guys are going to catch this on the playback. I know you can't see me that well, but I just want you guys to, I want you to get a load of the view, you know what I mean? So you can feel that peace and that serenity. There's something about water that calms everyone down, especially me. But have you ever noticed if you go to a beach or a lake or something, how calm everybody can be, you know, next when it comes to being by water. But anyways, check this out. For my musicians out there, for my artists, for the people trying to get their music heard, I got some news for you, and it's not necessarily news that you probably want to hear. Right now, more than ever, the system or the matrix, if you will, of this music world, they don't want real artists anymore. And I know it seems crazy, but from the way it looks as though that these companies are, I'll let you guys see, come back. All right, I know you missed me, but yo, so the way things are going these days, man, is that basically, essentially, these companies are basically, you know, putting these AI artists on Spotify and Apple Music, and essentially these artists are, you know, getting #1 spots. If you go on Apple Music, you can see a plethora of different AI music that's charting right now, which is, to me, I know better because I've been in this game. I'm a lot more educated about the streaming world than most of you. Not to disrespect anybody watching, but I probably know way more than anybody tuning in about streaming. Me and my brother, who's a rapper, were at the forefront of using playlists in 2015. Why do you think that I was able to get 14, 15, 16 million views per video of each one of my singles at that time? Climax, 14 million. Dreams, 16 million. Give You Love, 9 million. Just Want to Touch, 9 million. Me and my brother Styles Major were at the forefront of the streaming world in 2015. We knew how to get ourselves on the right playlist to basically build our audience, right? And that resulted in, you know, good payouts from AdSense. I mean, we were killing the game. You know, we were having months where, you know, AdSense was paying us, you know, $9,000 to, even my brother collected a 14K royalty, or not royalty, but AdSense check. And I was getting $9,000 AdSense checks on top of my beat sales because we were ahead of the game on streams. So essentially I was collecting a $9,000 check for the streams of my videos on YouTube. What's good, Jarrell? I appreciate you. Essentially, we were ahead. Me and my bro were ahead of the game when it comes to streams. And that's not trying to be cocky, or I'm just keeping it real. In 2015, we discovered something that most artists weren't familiar with, is we discovered the use of playlists and how they can be used to basically garner millions and tens of millions and even hundreds of millions of streams, because that's what was working. People and fans were essentially using these playlists and playing them everywhere. I mean, they were even playing these playlists in clubs and stuff. You could go to the club and people would be playing these playlists that featured our music. We just basically figured out how to dominate the streaming game at that time. And we got our music on the right playlist, and we were getting streamed worldwide, tens of millions, in the hundreds of millions by now. And this is for YouTube. This is not even Spotify. This was the YouTube game. But the thing is now, the reason why I know about this more than the average Joe talking about music streaming in the state of the game is because me and my bro, we were early on. We peaked game early on. We knew how to take advantage and manipulate the game to the point where we could cash $9,000 to $4,000 AdSense checks from the streams of our songs on YouTube. Nobody was doing that we know of. There was nobody that was peak game like that at the time. Nobody knew how to use the playlist on that level. And so, you know what I mean? This is an area where I know a lot about. I also know that essentially the people who are marketing this AI music, they have the ability to manipulate the game. They have the ability to also put especially if it's record labels doing it. If these are big time exec people, they can manipulate the game by simply just getting their AI songs featured on all kinds of playlists. And if they're really petty, they can go and which this is something that we never did because we wanted legit plays, because they delete independent musicians for any mistake that they do. And you all know that. So we had to get our streams legit through playlists. And it was great. That's the best way. That was the best way to do it, because it's just genuine, real people out there looking for music. And we got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, twenties of thousands of comments from people worldwide, and tens of millions of plays on multiple videos. And it was one of the best experiences for us musically. But the reason why I bring this up is because the people that are making these AI songs, essentially, I truly believe, and it's probably no secret, that they are manipulating the streams. It's not that there's a bunch of people out there genuinely becoming fans of these AI artists. Most likely what they're doing, I'm going to go ahead and bet my bottom dollar that these people are more than likely manipulating the streams, probably illegally. Don't quote me on that, because I don't want to get in trouble. But my personal thought is that they're manipulating these streams illegally to then chart, or they could be doing something that's legit by getting, if they're like a record exec, right? Because a lot of these people are people that are deep into the game. They already got money. So somebody who already has 20 mil net worth, they can invest into an AI artist and put that money back in their pocket they can manipulate the game. They don't have to go out there and get real talent. They can just manipulate the game and get a huge 100% return on their investment. Because if they get a real artist, then they got to finesse that artist, and which record companies have always done. Record companies have always finessed artists. They have always screwed artists out of deals. That's nothing new. But the reason why AI music appeals to these music labels is because they don't have to go through all the rhetoric and all the drama of dealing with real artists and musicians. They can just get straight to the money by manipulating the game. I don't know how many of y'all think of that. How many of y'all realize that the real reason why they're bypassing real musicians is because they can just get straight to the bag by manipulating the streams. They can manipulate the streams and bypass using real people, because using real people equates to having to pay them money. Even if it is a crappy deal, they have to negotiate something. Yeah, absolutely, bro. So this should infuriate real musicians because they're finding ways to cut y'all out of the picture. They're continuously cutting real musicians and real artists out the picture. And I want you guys to wake up and see what's really going on. These execs and people of that nature who already have the bag are manipulating the streaming game so they can continuously get rich and literally cut out real music. You get what I'm saying? Are you following me? They can cut out real artists, manipulate the game. They can reinvest. They already got the bag. A lot of these people are people that already got money. You know, people like Timbaland, who he's producing AI, multiple AI artists, as far as I know. And shout out to Timbaland. He's one of my heroes. But these people, they already got the bag. They can manipulate the game and have the money just go straight to them by bypassing real artists and just recreating music under AI artists. So they manipulate the game, and also they can manipulate the game by essentially purchasing botted streams, or you can get legit streams by if you have the money, you can find a wide range of legit playlisters that will put your music on all these different playlists across Spotify and YouTube. And so some of these playlists will be phony, but there's plenty of them that are legit and will literally earn you royalties. So these people can manipulate the game, own 100% of the royalties, and basically bypass signing real artists. And that's a problem. Now, I don't know all the rules and the kinks when it comes to releasing AI artists, but certainly a lot of those people are getting away with it. There's a flood of AI music that's all over streaming platforms. Now, I don't know all the rules and all the iron print, but it's happening right in front of our faces. They are playing in our face. They are taking real music away and lining their pockets up with fake artists' money right now. And it's people who are doing it. A lot of these people are execs and people in high positions. They already got money. You understand? They're literally robbing from the poor, and when they don't even need to. Imagine a multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire stealing from the poor and already lining their pockets. They're already rich. A lot of these people doing it are already rich, which is insane that we as artists and musicians just stand by and act like we're cool with it. We're not helpless. If you're somebody like me, I've been blessed to earn money off of music. It's an absolute blessing. I'm blessed to pay all my bills, travel, and live a decent middle-class life, which is amazing. But a lot of you haven't even earned $10 from your music at all. And it's very possible to make money with music, but these people are going to destroy your ability to make that a reality. And it's happening as we speak. If you go on iTunes, there's a plethora of different AI artists that are charting because these people are manipulating the streams, whether they're doing it illegally through botted plays or whether they're doing it legitly, because there is a few legit ways to get the promotion that it's not illegal. Either way, they have the money to manipulate the game and push real artists aside. So instead of signing a deal in these days is kind of funny, right? Because we can all be independent. But still, though, there's still people out there that would benefit from having a record deal. Some people, there's still a benefit to a lot of us that if we signed a good deal and you got your $1 million advance or whatever, that would change a lot of people's life, to be honest. That is becoming harder and harder because they want to push this fake AI music and then just benefit from the streams, line their pockets, manipulate the streams, bot the streams, then line their pockets. Or even if they are doing it legally, because there is legal ways to promote your music, the bottom line is they're cutting out real musicians, real artists, and real performers. And that is my issue. That's my issue is, and it is what it is. And it's not like I'm not sitting here necessarily mad at anybody in particular because I don't know the people that are all behind that. I knew that Timbaland has an artist or two that he's working with, but I'm a fan of Timbaland, so I'm not hating on him. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily going to hate on the people that are trying things out. I have a friend personally that's experimenting, but he has a lot more input into the music. He's not just like doing nothing. He's actually writing full songs and everything. But what I'm saying is that this is a problem for real musicians, is that people that have a little intellect and know-how, they know how to manipulate the game so they can get a bunch of streams and then chart. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things that maybe if you're a musician, maybe there's not enough serious people about, maybe people don't care about really trying to change their life. I mean, if you ain't trying to change your life, then get off my video. If you sitting here and you just wasting time, bro, whoever watches this video, if you ain't trying to get it, get off my video. My videos are for people who are trying to get it, for people who are trying to change their family's life. And you just sitting here doing nothing, being a nobody, sitting here acting like life is just going to get better, bro. We live in times where there's absolute dark times that are happening right now. If you don't want to become successful from your music, then get off my video. This is not for people that are here to play around. This is real life, man. I'm tired of people who want to come to me and act like music is some kind of joke. My grandpa lost his life over music. I come from the real struggle. You guys are too soft. You can never walk a day in my shoes. You can never be T-Sway. You can never be me because you're too soft. I come from the real struggle. You know, people don't really know what my life was like. You have no clue. You know what I mean? You can never walk a day in the shoes of what my grandpa had to go through. You can never survive a day. You can never survive a day, but you hop on this video pretending like you're a musician, but you ain't never going to do nothing with your music. I'm tired of you people that are acting like that. Don't be coming on my page half stepping. If you ain't trying to be a musician, then get off my page. This page is not for people who are playing around. Oh yeah, T-Sway's I'm not always a nice guy, bro. If you ain't here trying to make a difference and trying to make it, you're like, I don't do music for money, bro. Get off my page then, fool. I do music for money. I do this for real. I don't do this. This is not no joke to me. I put my life on the line for this. I'm tired of talking to people that just want to, everything's a damn joke to you guys. Life is no joke. If your mama's not retired yet and you sitting here laughing on my stream, like you could change your life with music, bro. Do you understand that your whole life, your whole family's life could change? Do you understand that there's people that went from having nothing into their bank to getting $10 million royalty checks? Do you understand people were broke, living next to nothing, and then having millions of dollars because they wrote a song that changed their life? Do you understand? Music is that powerful, y'all. Music is that powerful, y'all. Y'all need to stop staying. Everybody's so checked out on their phones scrolling, and you ain't got no money in your bank. You ain't making no money from your music. You call yourself a musician and you ain't making no money from your music. You can't be no musician if you can't turn a dollar from your music. I'm trying to talk to people. If you really trying to change your life and really trying to get it, that's who I'm trying to talk to. I'm tired of talking to people that ain't serious about life. You're sitting somewhere where you ain't making no money from your dreams. You're sitting there, you're watching life pass you by. You ain't accomplishing your dreams, but you'll sit and come on my page and act like everything's all good. It ain't all good, bro. We're running out of time. You got to try to make this. You got to make this work. You got to make this life work, bro. Things are serious out here. And it's a serious situation. Some of you are in positions where your girl's about to leave you. And you think everything is all good. It ain't all good. Hey, trust me, it ain't all good when your money's zero, bro. You think it's all good? Yeah, let's see how many friends you got when you ain't got nothing in the bank. Meanwhile, you're sitting on a musical gift that could literally take you to the top, or at least take you further than where you're at now, and you could become somebody, but you're sitting here playing around. And I know people in real life who are like this in my everyday life, sitting around, just playing around. Things are not going to change, bro. You got to take advantage of the moment. You got to take advantage of the situation. Sitting in here acting like everything's all good. Meanwhile, your whole life is passing you by. You ain't doing nothing about it. Tired of dealing with people like you. When you're going to raise up and do something with your talent, man. My grandpa, Sonny Simmons, literally risked his life to be a musician, and he finally made it. He did way more than any of you probably watching whatever. And that's no disrespect to my true ones that rock with me. I'm not trying to disrespect y'all, but I'm saying there's people that are ghost watching me. He ain't never going to do nothing. My grandpa was touring the French Riviera as a 70-year-old man. That's how much he loved the game, but he went through hell in these Bay Area streets before he got a chance to get on. And this was before the internet, bro. And he eventually toured all of Europe, or the majority of Europe. And he was able to have a little something for himself. And this is long before social media. But meanwhile, y'all just sitting on here. We have the greatest opportunity to make it in world history. You can literally launch your music to the World Wide Web, and y'all sitting here joking about life. Like, y'all getting old, joking about life, zero money in the bank, ain't doing nothing. That's a disgrace. Y'all disgrace me. People like you disgrace me, especially if you a minority, you know what I mean? And you sitting there acting like it ain't all good, bro. A lot of us grew up in positions where all we have is a chance to use our talent, and maybe we could do a little music, maybe we could shoot a basketball or play football, and that's all we got to try to make it. You know what I mean? That's how my life was, you know what I mean? And you sitting here acting like it's all good. You don't even got $10 in your bank, bro. You better raise up and do something about that. You better do something about that, because life is just passing you by. You can't do nothing for your kids. You can't do nothing for your mom. You can't do nothing. That should make you feel a way. Can't do nothing for your girl about to leave you. You should feel a way about that. You should be motivated to try to take advantage of the game and make something out of your music. But you sit here and you watch this video, and people will drop comments and be like, hey, and you still never got to the bag. You still never figured out how to make your music happen. That's a joke to me. At least you could do is at least try to figure it out. But many of you don't even try, and that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace to me. I can't rock with you if you don't even try, if you ain't even trying on your music. You ain't even trying, bro. You haven't even failed yet. I know people like this. I know people like this in real life. They just sit there and I see them and they came, hey, T Sway, what's going on? Oh, you know what I mean? I'm rocking. I'm trying all these different ideas. I did get one record to take off, got a gold record, you know what I mean? And was able to look out for my family, and that's a blessing. Oh yeah, that's cool and everything. I say, what y'all doing? Oh, I'm still messing around with that music, but what you doing with it? I'm just messing around with it. Why you messing around with your music? Why ain't you using your talent to change your life? You ain't got nothing, man. You ain't got nothing. You think it's funny to me? Excuse my language. I didn't mean to cuss, but it ain't funny. It ain't funny to me. It ain't people. I mean, it's going to be funny. Maybe the girl who leaves you is going to be funny to that girl who leaves you and gets with somebody else, gets with Drake or somebody like that. You think it's going to be a joke? You think it's some kind of joke, man? People rolling around thinking life is a joke. Meanwhile, your mom don't even have money for medical, but you think life is a joke. Life ain't no joke, man. You better raise up and get this money. You better figure out how to make something out of your music. People sitting around think I'm some kind of nice guy and that I'm cool. No, I'm not a nice guy, bro. I come from the gutter. I'm trying to get it just like everybody else, but I'm tired of dealing with people that are not serious, that reach out to me, that think everything's a joke. Y'all been working on the same album for years and haven't done nothing. You know what I mean? When you going to raise up and do something about your life, you better raise up and figure out how to make this happen. You know what I mean? And me, I ain't even where I want to be, but I'm sure further than a lot of people that are tuning in that ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? You gotta get to a level where you can at least feel proud about yourself. You might not have $1 million in the bank account, but you got to be making some kind of progress, bro. You can't be just tuning into people's YouTube videos and acting like everything's all good when your dad's medical bill is $20,000 and y'all on GoFundMe, and you can't do nothing for your family because you're sitting on your talent. Meanwhile, you have a musical talent that could change the world, but you sitting and laughing on somebody's stream. That's a joke to me, bro. You better raise up and figure out how to get this bread. You know what I mean? There's ways to do it. And the World Wide Web is one of the easiest ways for people to unleash their music, but y'all want to quit after just 2 records. People come to me like, T Sway, how come? What would you say? Nobody's really checking for my album. You got 1 album, and people coming to me worried about why nobody's checking for their 2 songs or their 1 album that they didn't promote. Bro, you better raise up. I got thousands of songs on the internet, bro, and only a few of them made it. That should show you the mentality of trying different ideas, trying different things until something makes it. You have to try different things until something makes it. But people are sitting here asking me for advice when y'all won't even try, bro. You're sitting here when you won't even try, and you're just letting life pass you by. Before you know it, you end up being one of those guys and that I run into after 10 years, and I go, hey, how's everything going? How's life? How's the job? Oh, I hate my job. Oh, I hate life. Yeah, I never did that music. Yeah, and you a bum too, and you fat, and you ain't got nothing going on for yourself. That's a disgrace, bro. I don't respect anybody that ain't going hard on their craft. I come from the gutter. And I'm doing better than most of you freaks out there, man. I know people that had both their mom and their dad, and they further behind. They ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing to show for their life. That's a joke to me. That's a joke to me, man. Where's the damn hunger to be somebody? You got to have hunger to go out there and get it and dominate. No, regardless of your situation, bro. If somebody like me, I ain't even supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in prison, according to how my father and even my grandpa, even though he made it later on in life, according to their lives, I should be out of here or in prison. But I have the hunger to be somebody else. I have the hunger to rise up and be something better than my situation of my father and his grandfather. I have a hunger within that wants to strive and do better. I also have family that relies on me. And then I get people on these YouTube channels that are aspiring, but they ain't got no hunger. They ain't got the hunger of T-Sway because you're too comfortable, man. You're too comfortable. You ain't care about your mom enough. You don't care about your brothers and sisters enough. You don't care enough. You're only thinking about what you're going to do later on. But you ain't got no money? What you mean what you going to do later on and you ain't got no money? But you can't do nothing. If you ain't got no money, you better get to that bag. You better figure out how to get your songs out. You better figure out how to promote your songs. You better get to action, bro, because this life is very fast. You better figure out how to get it. And that's all I really got to say. You know what I mean? I'm tired of talking to people who are trying to, all you do is you just trying, but you ain't getting it. Why, you know what I mean? You a window shopper. You don't want to be you want to, don't just settle for, you better try until it actually happens. Don't just say you tried. No, fool, you can actually make it happen. Do you understand that just saying, oh, I tried, that's a weak, in my mind, that's a weak statement. You try until you make it happen. Don't just say you try. You try until something happens. You understand me? I know people that's been working on the same thing for 10 years. They kept going through their struggle, and then they finally get it. But most of y'all quit within a day or two talking about, yeah, I tried. You haven't did a damn thing, bro. You better go out there and try a little bit harder. Don't come back to me until you get something, until you have something to show for. Don't hit me up saying, yeah, I'm really going. Hit me up when you get your first check from streaming, your first CD sale or whatever, then hit me up. And that's not even anything to brag about, to be honest. But don't hit me up and you ain't got nothing under your name, nothing under your belt. What kind of people are being raised these days? Do you guys have any grind? Is there any effort within your soul to be somebody? Do you all want to just be nobody? Do you all just want to just sit around and just watch life pass you by, watch other guys get the girls that you want? You know what I mean? And to the ladies watching this, you just want to sit around and you don't get the person that you want to be with, or you never make it in your music dream. You never make it in your music. You don't become the next Aaliyah. You don't become the next Chris Brown. How could you sit around and be okay with that? And are you really truly proud of, I just mess around with music. My ancestors passed away doing this music. This is not a game. People risk their life to do this. And we have the greatest opportunity in the history of the world, to put our music out for the whole World Wide Web to hear it. And y'all just sit on your talent and you come to me and you say that, oh yeah, I mess around, or I don't do money from music. Well, get off my page. I do. I do it as a passion, but I really do this. You know what I mean? Hey, I appreciate that super chat, man. That means a lot to me. Dude, from the bottom of my heart, I can tell you how much when I'm stressed, I throw on your instrumental playlist and smooth out immediately. I appreciate you, Bench. Well, 7498. Appreciate that. Hey, y'all, you see that person's they find value in what I'm doing on this page. So, hey, if y'all want to do it, throw a super chat, make sure you throw your super chats. But anytime that I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to talk and speak from the heart. Today, I just feel motivated to wake y'all up. And that's just real, man. I'm just at a point in life where I see time just keeps passing by. Time just keeps passing by. I deal with the same people on a regular basis that come to me for guidance. And a lot of these people are people that I grew up with, who dabbled with music, who had the ability to go all the way. And they're just stuck doing something that they hate, and they never succeeded. And when they go and they say things like, oh, I don't do music for money. I'm like, well, don't talk to me then, because I do. I really do this. I really do this. I'm tired of talking to people that make it seem evil to make a living off of your art, bro. My family, like I said, people lost their lives doing this music. My grandpa was in the streets of Oakland, California, and San Francisco playing his saxophone, busking the streets because he believed in himself, and he eventually made it. He eventually toured Europe, French Riviera. He eventually did the things that other people who watch this and play around will never do, but yet you have more opportunities than he ever had. Imagine that. A 70-year-old man beat your butt. A 70-year-old man took you out. Sonny Simmons took you out. He didn't have the internet. He didn't have the internet, bro. He didn't have that. And he still made it. He still toured Europe and did what he did, you know what I mean? And put it down. And then people over here got all the opportunities to truly make it. But y'all sit on your gift acting like things are just going to come to you like some kind of law of attraction, like you're just going to manifest, bro. That stuff is come on, man. You got to put in that work. You got to make it happen. You got to go grab your opportunities. You can't just sit here and pretend like things are going to move. Things ain't moved yet. The reason why things haven't moved yet, because you got to force your opportunities. You got to go take them. You got to take your opportunities by the neck and excuse that reference, but you got to make it happen, man. One thing I learned from my grandpa, Sonny Simmons, is that life is hard, and it's especially hard for people that don't have all the opportunities growing up. Maybe you grew up somewhat like me, where your parents didn't have the money. I had very young parents. And one thing I learned from my grandpa is that life is tough. He spent full days playing on the streets of San Francisco, where at times there were some days where people were more, wasn't as generous. But he still went out there day after day until he got enough money to get his food and grab a hotel or something like that, right? And sometimes he had, he was a smooth guy. So sometimes he would get a girlfriend here and there, you know what I mean? And maybe stay at their place. Shout out to, rest in peace to my grandfather. But hey, here's what I'm saying is that he didn't have the opportunities that y'all have. And he still, you know what? He ended up getting signed multiple times. He ended up making it towards the end of his life, though. He was an older man when he finally got on and toured Europe and lived a decent life. He finished his life off in New York, you know what I mean? But he was able to eventually succeed and make a full-time living from his music. But he didn't have the internet back then. He didn't have a social media back then for him to make it. You know what I'm saying? So we have all this power at our fingertips to truly succeed, to really be somebody. And a lot of us will sit here and just act like we ain't got to do nothing. Aren't you tired of being sick and tired? Aren't you tired of seeing your mom living in a bad condition? Aren't you tired of not being able to pay your medical bills? Aren't you tired of not living in debt? Aren't you tired of not living in the place you want to live in, or not living in a safer environment? You know what I mean? Aren't you tired of not being able to buy the equipment you need to record or produce? Aren't you tired of that? Why don't you use what you have and make something of it? And the passion that I have for this, because I talk to people on a regular basis, including people that I grew up with. And y'all, if you're watching, I'm talking to you. If you're watching this and you used to do music with me and you ain't got no money from music, you should be talking to me and seeing how you can get back into it and seeing how you could truly make money and stop putting it down. Because I guarantee I made more money than y'all this year. And that's not swagging on anybody. That's because That's because of a song that I made that did really well, and it gave me a decent amount of money to live. And not nothing crazy like, but a lot of people that I talk to ain't got a dollar, bro. And they sitting here dissing me for doing music full time when I'm trying to uplift them. And I'm trying to uplift them to show them that you can actually do this as a job, but you got to make it happen. And I know people that I grew up with that look down on me, who are broke right now, who ain't got a dime in their bank. And I'm sitting here, you know what I mean? And this is not to put down people, that we all go through struggles. My life ain't perfect either. Perfect either. But what I'm saying is that you could actually make money from your music. And this is the easiest time to do so. This is the easiest time to get a fan base. But I don't respect the people that don't even try. And I grew up with people and I love these people. So hey, if any of my old musician friends who ain't doing music anymore are watching this, just know I love y'all. But I'm also mad at y'all because you should be doing music with me, getting paper, man. You shouldn't be broke. You shouldn't be waiting for that next paycheck. You should be going, having steak dinners and taking your family out to vacations. You should be paying off your mom's house. You should be getting it from music. But you look at me and got a problem with me because I took a chance, and then you mad at me because I can go whatever I can. They go, why do you have a couple dollars in your bank? And you know what I mean? And I don't even really got it like that, but I just, in general, most people are very down bad. And I say, hey, I got a couple dollars, I got a couple bucks. I can travel. I can go. I can provide for my family. I'm able to go from country to country, bring my music equipment around. You know what I mean? It's a blessing. You know what I mean? And it's because of this music. It's because of these royalty checks been coming in. It's because people like you, been supporting people in the chat, been supporting my beats and grabbing my sound packs. And I truly appreciate and love y'all for that. But today you got to hear the Wrath of T Sway, because it's not because I hate anybody. It's because the opposite is because my anger is my love. There's love in my anger. There's love because I don't want to see people 5 years from now say, man, my life sucks. Man, I'm not getting it. My bank account's on zero. I never put out that album that I was supposed to put out. I never dropped that song. And now you're 50 plus years old. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to say to you. We had a chance to get it when we were younger. We had a chance to get it. And I'm just saying this right now because that's how I grew up. I grew up with people that were too scared. They didn't struggle like I went. They didn't go through what I went through. So they were wussies. They were too comfortable. While my family, I was in the gutter and my dad was in prison. And we were living in the gutter from relative's house to relative's house because we went homeless multiple times. And that struggle created hunger in me. And the people that I knew locally that didn't have that same struggle, they were too soft to risk anything on doing music or anything that they truly had a talent to do. Instead, they're soft and they never truly did the thing that they're passionate about. And I'm still friends with some of these people, but the reality is I got to keep it real. They didn't have no dog in their fight. They didn't want to do nothing. They didn't believe in what they're doing. And they suffer for that in the future. They suffer for not taking those risks. They are suffering for those choices. They're suffering not just in money, but they're suffering inside. They suffer in silence because they never, ever truly became who they wanted to be. That's a form of suffering. They suffer because also there is financial ramifications for not following something that you're truly passionate about. There's a shame that you feel as a man or a woman when you don't truly go for the things that you love. There's a shame when you get to a certain age and you go, damn, what I wonder how life would have been if I would have really would have went all the way in on my music. I wonder if I could have got anywhere. The thing is, if you're around people like me who are a little bit crazy in the head, I make sure that I'm going to get it. I make sure that I'm going to go get this money from my music. I don't take no for an answer. I find a way. And you must be a person that finds a way. You got to be a person that finds a way. You can't, because if you're not, you're going to be a person that makes excuses. And I don't rock with people that makes excuses. You find a way to make things happen, or I ain't talking to you. find a way. That's the measure of a man. You got to find a way. Stop saying, well, I tried, you know what I mean, but it just didn't happen for me. Nah, you ain't trying hard enough. You got to find a way. And if it hasn't happened yet, it doesn't mean that it won't. You got to find a way. You got to find a way. You got to do everything you can. You got to not just pray. Praying is part of it, but you got to go get it, man. You got to make it happen when it comes to this music or any endeavor in life that you're truly passionate about. You got to find a way. Excuses, they never get anybody. Nobody cares about your excuses in life. Either you got it or you don't. Nobody cares about your excuses. You either got it or you don't, man. So I'm just truly passionate about the subject because I see too many of y'all just not really taking your talent seriously. Meanwhile, you could be changing. Imagine putting your mother in a brand new house because you made a hit record. Imagine what that would feel like. But you sit on your music and you scroll Instagram timeline. And I know that's what people do, because people be clicking on the pictures of the thumbnails of girls more than they click on the pictures with the keyboard. I look at the analytics on my YouTube. I know what gets people's attention. I'm not stupid. That's why I use model pictures in my beats. I know it's good. You know, I'd rather just post the videos of me playing the keyboard every time. But I use these photos because I know that's what y'all clicking on. And hey, I ain't mad at y'all. You know what I mean? I know that's human nature. But at the same time, I know the mindset of people that are just scrolling the internet and y'all not trying to figure out a way how to really get it in this music. There's people right now that are getting tens of millions of streams a month on their Spotify and cashing 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 plus or more checks from streams alone. You don't even have to sell a CD. You know what I mean? There's people getting millions of plays a month on their YouTube. And I was one of those people. So I've done that multiple times. But there's people getting tens of millions of plays a month on their YouTube, and their AdSense checks are crispy, bro. They're getting $50,000, $60,000 AdSense checks, 10, 20, 30, 40. I have a person that lives in this complex who recently moved. Shout out to Hike the Gamer. He's a gamer. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Hike, but he has a gaming channel. He was getting crazy money for just uploading videos of him playing games. He was making millions of, he's retired now, but he was making millions of dollars from gaming videos, millions. Some of y'all sit here and you don't even use your YouTube to try to do anything with it. I'm telling y'all, like, we're running out of time to really get it. You gotta try, and you gotta make things happen. So that's all I'm saying, man. But if you're comfortable just watching life pass you by, you real comfortable, huh? Watching your mom suffer. I bet you real comfortable watching your mom not being able to pay her mortgage. I bet you like seeing your mom suffer and not being able to pay her medical bills. I bet that makes you happy, huh? If that makes you happy, then simply just remove yourself from my page, because I can't relate to that. You know what I mean? You should be wanting, as a man or a woman, you should be wanting to change your family's life. You should want to put a smile on your mother's face. You should want to put a smile on your husband. If you're a girl, if you got a husband. For me, I want to put a smile on my wife's face. I love being able to say, hey, baby, here's $1,000, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? That makes me happy. It makes me happy to go to the store and buy my son whatever bicycle he wants. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to say, hey, baby, we're going to go travel. We're going to go Spain. We're going to go to Spain and get whatever you want. That makes me feel good as a man. And what I'm saying to y'all is that you should not be comfortable with mediocrity. You should never get comfortable seeing your mom suffer, or your dad for that matter, or your brothers and sisters. That shouldn't make you feel good. Or just even seeing yourself living, if you're living in a situation that you know is not as good as you could be doing, don't get comfortable, man. Raise your standards. You can do it, man. You can get it. I'm telling you right now, you can go get it, bro. You can have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, 67. You can have 100K in your bank account where you ain't got to worry about nothing. You can do that. You know what I mean? Like, but so many of us settle for a life that's less than we could truly be. You know what I mean? Some of us we get okay with seeing our family suffer, and we're just cool with it. I'm telling you right now, don't be cool with that, man. And if you don't share the same mindset as me, you don't have to watch me. That's cool. You know what I mean? I ain't got a problem with anybody. But only thing I got a problem with is people that have the talent to be something, and they just got no hunger because whatever. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why y'all ain't got no hunger to truly get it. Why ain't y'all coming to me saying that, hey, you know what, T Sway, I just made $1,000 from my streaming, or I just made 1,000 from my CD, or I just made a $500 from selling beats. I wanna thank you for your inspiration. I want to hear that from people. I want to rock right now. I want to hear that from people. I want to hear y'all come to me and tell me about the positive things happening for your music. I don't want to hear that it's just a joke for you. This is not a joke for me. This is real life, man. So I want to see y'all get it and really hit me up with messages and show me that you're really succeeding at this. You know, there is a couple people, not a lot, but there's at least 1 or 2 people that I do hear from, and that are actually doing something with their music. I know one person that used to watch my page. It's still a supporter, that they run their own music studio now, and they're doing well. So it's just not the norm, though. I just know so many people that everything's a joke. When you run into me, or you're a friend of mine, and you think this music's a joke, this music is not a joke to me, bro. You think paying for my son is a joke? You think it's some kind of joke? Do you think, like, I don't understand why people, yeah, music is just cool. It ain't just cool. This is my life, bro. This is my money. This is my life. This is my lifestyle. This ain't no game to me. So if you can't relate to me, respectfully get out of my face. Because if you think music's some kind of joke, then maybe we shouldn't be talking, because music ain't no joke, y'all. There's people change their life. People get off the streets from music. In fact, the Cookie Kawhi record, when I talked to Cookie Kawhi, I don't know if many of y'all noticed, but when I first got in touch with her after that record blew up, she had told me that record had changed her life and got her off the street. Or either she told me that, or I read about it right around the time when that placement happened. That's a record that literally changed their life, literally got them off the street, got their own place. That's a big deal, bro. Some of y'all are in a position where you don't even have your own place, but you're sitting on a record that could literally change your life right now. But you just have to have the hunger. You have to have the grind to go about putting it out there. You have to at least try. You have to try, man. If you don't try, then you won't know what's possible. And that's just what it is. But I gotta grab a little drink. Hey, let me know y'all thoughts, man. People don't understand. I'm fired up, bro. This music, this is not music is real deal for me. It's not some game. This is a real way that you can change your life and share your passion and the art with the world. You can share it with the world and literally change you and your family's life. And right now, the reason why I'm so passionate about it at this moment is because it's 2 different things. It's because we all have an opportunity to really make this a reality with the World Wide Web, but also right now they're drowning out real artists. Like I just told you, these execs are supplying these DSPs with fake AI music, and they're lining their pockets up because they control 100% of that copyright, which I don't know how long that will last, but let's just say maybe they have inside deals with some of these companies and they're controlling the copyright, and 100% of that royalty goes back to them. Well, they're just if they're getting all these streams, tens of millions of streams a month, they're just relining their pockets. So what's the point of having a real artist? That's why right now, I really believe we're in the end days to really make something off of this music, because it's going to get difficult and more difficult till it gets to a point where only a certain amount of people are going to see anything from it. I believe we're in those times because people think that the AI stuff is not a problem, but it becomes a problem when it outworks the humans in music. So when you decide not to release that album, never to release that single, and you sit on something for a year, and I know people like this, and these are people that I love. These, you know, if anybody, like I said, if any friends are watching this video, I love y'all, but y'all got to see this side of me. You have to know this is part of who I am. I love you, but you piss me off at the same time, because you sit on your music and you act like life isn't passing you by. You act like you're not 45 years old. You act like you're not 39. You act like you're not going to be 50 in a couple years, but you have this talent to be somebody, but yet you sit on it and you go, well, I don't want to do music for money. I don't care if you want to do music for money, bro. If you're talking to me, you better be about that hustle, because I'm not talking to, don't communicate with me unless you about that hustle, because I come from the streets. I come from hard living, bro. I come from the gutter. So don't talk to me. You think because because I'm light skinned or something, bro. I grew up around the hardest, most dangerous people in my area, and they made sure to show me what life was really like. They say, hey, you want to come this way? You want to do this life? No, you better stick to the music, bro, because this life ain't for you. You really want to try to, you want to hit this, hit this lick, you want to pull this jack move, and you cool with going, going to prison. You cool with that? Because they were cool with it. They weren't, certain people were cool with that. They say, hey, this is what they were saying to me at 12 and 13. They go, hey, I don't think you should do this with us, bro. We're going to go do this. We're going to go pull this jack move. Me and your dad are going to go pull this jack move, but we want you to play that damn keyboard because we think you can do something with it. You don't want this life. We're doing this life because there ain't nothing else for us. They're already, 3 felonies in, got 3 felonies. Bill Bellamy. They were living like Little B. That's the kind of people that I was growing up with. But they saw something in me. It was those people that saw something in me and said, hey, do something with your music, because this right here, this ain't nothing for you. You don't want to be a felon like I am. You don't want to be up in the system like I am. It ain't as cracked up as it ain't the life that you think it is. It's not as cool when you don't see your girl and your kids for a couple years. It's not cool when you got to fight off Big Bubba in the prison cell and you got to, you know what I mean? You got to risk your life trying to protect your bottom. That's real talk, bro. You don't want that life. You don't want that life. And if you ain't a thoroughbred, you probably gonna lose that bottom. Let's just be real. If you ain't ready to fight for your life, and that's no disrespect to anybody. I ain't trying to be funny style, but that's just, everybody knows that's the reality for a lot of people that go in prison. If you ain't a fighter, if you ain't a brawler, you don't want to go in there. Fortunately for me, I did listen to my uncles and my dad and my grandpas, and they said, hey, we see something better for you. And I'm speaking to somebody right now that's come up in a similar life as me, where it's hard. You didn't have the money. Your parents didn't have nothing. And getting into trouble seems like the most logical thing to do to get a quick dollar. And yeah, don't get me wrong. My uncles and my dad, they came up on quick cash from pulling their jack moves. They came up on quick little bursts of money, but at least like weeks or months later, it would always be a prison sentence or a jail sentence that would follow that little quick burst of money. And they'd be locked up in jail for 6 months, or they'd be in prison for a couple years. And then they're just stacking those felonies to the point where now they can't even function in society anymore. And they said, look, T, we love you. We know that this kind of stuff is alluring, and we know that we're doing it, but we don't want you to do it because we see what you're doing with that keyboard, and we think you could be somebody. And they didn't all say it at the same time, but individually, I would talk to an uncle, my dad. I would hear from my dad. My grandpa would come down to visit. Individually, they would say, hey, do something with this keyboard. Do something with it. And I listened to him because, and I'm only sharing that story because I know there's people right now who are in desperate situations like how I grew up, and you have the opportunity to make something of yourself musically. And this is a music channel, so I'm speaking to musicians, but of course there's other people watching this channel that might not be a musician. Well, apply that to anything that is your dream, your goal. You have an opportunity and time to make it happen. You got to make it happen. You got to find a way, and that's the only way. And if you come from a difficult life like I am, the truth is, if you quit, there is really nothing for you. If I quit this game, there isn't nothing for me. I don't have an inheritance from a parent. I don't have anything. you know, my dad, shout out to Pops. I'm not trying to put his business on Front Street, but my dad is a addict in recovery on and off, and his, you know, his health is, he's almost like in a vegetated state. He's not really truly functioning. You know what I mean? He did too much of the DRUG, you get it. He did too many of those growing up, so he's not really functioning mentally. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. My mom's out there, you know, she does well for herself, but you know, I'm not in a position where I'm not going to inherit anything from parents or anything like that. So for me, music is all I got, and it's all I got for my son as well and my wife. So I have to put it down for them and put it down for my mom and my brothers and sisters, because that's just it. There's nothing to fall back on. Now, some of you watching this may have things to fall back on. You may have had inherited property, and that's amazing. You know, I know people that's inherited things and their life is much better for it. I know people that's inherited $500,000 or they inherited a couple $100,000 and their life is much easier for it. But people like me, we're from the gutter and we don't have the good life to fall back on. So for me, music is all I have. So it's hard for me to relate to people that are very soft, whose parents who wiped their bottoms for them and made life overly easy to the point where now they just don't do anything with their talent because they're too soft. You know, they never seen the realities of life. Like I've seen the realities of life. I've been in the car with my mom driving from relative house to try to find a place to sleep. I've been there, you know what I mean? I've been in the rock bottom state. So some people can't relate to rock bottom, and God bless you. Sometimes that's a good thing. You don't want to see the things that I've seen, because you wouldn't last a day in my world. You just wouldn't. You know what I mean? You wouldn't last a day in Sway's world. You know what I mean? Because you ain't got the heart. But look at somebody like me. I got more heart than you because I can overcome, and I push myself to the absolute furthest level that I can go, to the point of even risking my life to make this music. And I'm not trying to down anybody. I'm just in an angry state of mind because I want y'all to get it. I say all these angry things because I want you to make it. I love you guys. I want you to make it. I want you to be somebody. I want you to write me and say, hey, this music is working. I made a record. I made a hit record. You know, I got my first 10K royalty. I want to hear those kind of things from you guys. I don't want to hear about how things are not happening for you. I want to hear something good, you know. Jay, you said facts, bro. I've lost family in 10 years, but I'm still standing. And hey, man, and I'm sorry for your losses. And that's a blessing that you're still here. That means you still have a reason. You still have purpose to breathe. You still have God's fresh air, so you can do something and really put your dreams into focus and do the things that are important to you, whatever that may be. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting here sharing with y'all. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I enjoy doing these lives because I have things on my mind that I'm trying to get these thoughts out into the world so I can bless somebody out there listening to what I have to say, you know. But pretty much let me throw on that AC real quick. But yeah, y'all, pretty much what it is that you know, I'm gonna stand up for a second. Sitting down kind of gets to me a little bit. But yeah, pretty much what it is, y'all, is that pretty much what it is, man, is that it's right now is the best time in history for you to make something out of your music. And the reality is, even though it's the best time, it's going to get harder because these labels and these execs, they're now pushing all this AI music. So they're going to dilute, excuse me, I'm burping. They're going to dilute the system with all, they're doing it right now. They're diluting all the DSPs with all this AI music to try to push our music out the way so that they can line their already fat pockets. A lot of these people's pockets are already fat, bro. Their pockets are already fat, and they got the money to invest. They got the money to pay for the botted streams. They got the monies to pay for the playlists. They can manipulate the system. That's what you guys don't realize. I've been in this game. If you watch the playback on this live, if it works, sometimes YouTube acts funny with the playbacks, but you can actually manipulate the music game these days into your advantage if you have the money. So you know what I mean. And I'm like I said, I've done it. Mine's been legit, but I was in the YouTube playlisting game, and me and my brother used to do, we'd search out playlists on YouTube and try to find playlists that had hundreds of millions of plays, and then we'd reach out to people and say, hey, you know, how can we get on your playlist? And essentially, they would, you know, just tell us what we got to do. And most of the time sometimes people would do it for free, which was amazing. But sometimes people would say, hey, you know what, we'll put you on this playlist as long as you pay us X amount of dollars. And at that time, you know, my beat sales were doing really well. The economy was actually pretty good in those days. So I would invest $1,200, $1,300 a month into all these different playlists, and then literally see a massive return. I would get 3 million plays out of that promotion, and I would get a $9,000 or damn near $10,000 AdSense check from manipulating the game. Luckily, these playlists were they happened to hit the algorithm hard, and they were getting crazy amounts of plays. And me and my brother saw that opportunity, and we took advantage of the market. The market, nobody really knew what we were doing. We took advantage. I can say it now because it is even if this same opportunity was right now, even if I could show you guys these playlists, a lot of you would freeze up and not spend the money because you're scared. But me and my brother decided to spend the money because we knew these playlists were legit, and they were the YouTube algorithm was something else for music back in the 2015s, that it just pushed these playlists like crazy. And we knew what it was, and we took that risk. We just said, hey, we'll spend $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month to promote our videos. And hey, it worked tenfold. I mean, we're putting in $1,400, $1,300, and like I said, seeing $8,000 to $9,000 to $10,000 in a month, almost $10,000 in a month just from my AdSense. And the reason why I bring this up to you guys is because these AI execs that are pushing this music, they have money to reinvest. They can manipulate the game to push the independent musicians further down so nobody hears them. So in order to compete with them, the only way is to go harder. You're going to have to figure out how to release more music. You're going to have to figure out how to promote your music better. You're going to have to get comfortable with getting on, putting yourself out there on social media, doing videos, possibly speaking to your audience. It's just going to be harder to compete because these people have the money to then throw back in to their fake artists and literally basically manipulate the game, own 100% of their royalty. And hey, if you're getting, I'm telling you right now, if you own 100% of your royalty on a site like Spotify, and you're getting, 20 million streams a month, that's a really good paycheck, Even I think 1 million streams, where is it at? It's like around 3,000. So if you're getting, let's just say roughly 2,000-3,000, and you're getting 20 million, 3 times 20, $60,000 a month. Imagine that. If you're a record label exec and you're just messing around and you're getting 20 million streams a month and you're lining your pocket 60K in revenue every month from streams, why in the world would you sign another artist? These people are some of the greediest people on the planet. Why would they ever sign somebody if they're lining their pockets with 60 to 100K from AI artists every month, right? And there's some people who are only about the money will see that as maybe some people would just go full AI. I understand, because you can make a lot of money in the meantime until they work out the kinks of all this, because the copyright stuff is not quite clear. But in the meantime, while everything is kind of jaded, there is a lot of these execs that are taking advantage of the system and getting the money while it's good. Of course, it might not last, But what I'm saying is to the truly passionate, to the people that have a real gift that actually want to make it, I'm speaking to you directly and saying that you got to wake up and know that these people are trying to take you out of the game, and you're going to have to compete with them or just face extinction when it comes to making a living off of your music. And the only way your music is really going to get heard is if you're making a living off of it, because let's just face it, if you're getting enough streams, you're going to make good money. So don't tell me that you do music for fun. What you really mean when people say, oh, I do music for fun, what they really mean is nobody knows who they are. Because if somebody knows who you are online, you're going to get paid. I'm telling you, if your music is getting played online, you're going to get paid indefinitely. You're going to make money from streams. You're going to make money from sales from your website. I'm telling you right now, if you have even a little bit of an audience, you're going to generate some kind of income from it. So when people say they just do it for fun, what they really mean is nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows their songs. That's the reality. That's the reality of what it is. But I'm here to build you guys up in a big brother kind of way. I may come off kind of rude and aired, or maybe even cocky a little bit. Not at all. I'm just angry, and I want to see you guys succeed. Just as much as I want to succeed, I want to see y'all succeed. I want everybody that's down for T Sway, that's on my team. I want all of us to eat. I want all of us to get it. That's important to me. Anybody that rocks with me, I don't want to see you down bad. I want to see you raise up. And yeah, I'm going to give you that big brother talk, because by the way, I am the big brother in the family. I'm going to give you that big brother talk because sometimes we all need a little wake up call to make things happen. We got to raise up and we got to be the best that we can be. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is, man. So, and that's just the reality. We're running out of time to really make this music a reality. We're just running out of time. And I just want y'all to seize the moment and take advantage of the opportunity that you have and not be down bad. You might be down bad right now, but you can change your situation. You can get a 10K royalty check. You can produce a hit record. You can work with a local artist and that record could blow up, and you do the business right and you get your first 10K royalty check. You get your first 20K royalty check, and you can pay some bills from this music. You can take your mom out or your lady out to a nice meal, or the ladies that watch this, you can do something nice for your guy or whatever, or do something nice for your children or whatever it is, if you're a lady who watches this. So, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I just want you guys to make things happen rather than just fall back and don't just say that you tried. You can make it happen. Trust me, you can make it, because if you try enough, something's going to happen. If you try enough, something's going to happen. I'm telling you, there has never been a time where I put maximum effort into my dream and nothing happened. Something happens. Something is going to move. You have to make it move. You have to force it to move by sheer willpower. You can will your way into situations. Look at somebody like me. I come from a hole-in-the-wall town. I wound up in studios with Al B. Sure, Frankie J. I wound up in these studios with these multi-platinum artists, songwriters, and producers. Michael Jackson's engineer. I wound up in, I don't even know how I got there. All I can say is that I willed my way into those situations by just sheer willpower of just nonstop effort. I feel as though if I keep putting all my energy into something, it's going to move. Yes, sir. And I'm proud of you, Jay, man. I want you to go all the way in. I truly believe in your talent, bro. I want you to go all the way in, man. You can do this, bro. You know what I mean? You can do this, man. And that's what I have. Anybody that rocks with me, that's a musician, that's pretty much what my message. And if you're just tuning in and you're not familiar with Tony Sway, I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, mixing engineer. I do everything musically. I film my videos, I produce, I songwrite, I record records. I have songs, my personal songs that have over 16 million plays on individual songs, 14 million, 16 million individually. I produce for people like Tyga. I've produced records for like Cookie Kawai and Tyga. Cookie Kawai certified gold now. on its way to platinum. I've worked with legendary musicians like Albie Shore, Frankie J. I've worked with legendary hip hop artists like Crazy Bone. So I've been blessed to be in touch with these amazing artists and people in the game from sheer willpower, not because they're nearby or anywhere around, or I'm from a hole in the wall town, y'all. Some of my customers are, out close to where I'm at, right? So I'm out in Seattle, Washington, man. So if you're in Seattle, say what's up. If you're near Seattle, South Africa, Kane, I appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. Wow, we got Africa watching up in here, so that's pretty amazing. Even just this is an example, just this YouTube live alone, I'm showing y'all that you can reach people worldwide, even if it's only 100 people that are seeing the video, or 20 people. I can't tell based on the numbers on YouTube, but what I'm trying to show y'all is that there's a worldwide audience that's ready to receive your music. You could be from Africa like Kane is. You could be in the Philippines. You could be in the UK. You could be out in Seattle where T-Sway is at. You could be in Cali. You could be in Georgia, ATL. Doesn't matter. There's a worldwide audience ready to receive your music. All you got to do is put it out. Put out your brand. Put out your music. Put out your artwork. Put out your music videos. Speak to your audience. Thank your fans for rocking with you. Do live videos and speak to your fans like I do. Find a way to connect with your audience. Never give up. Keep trying. There's people that are ready to listen to you right now and ready to give you, feedback on your music and show you love. There's people out there right now. You're sitting on a song right now that could change somebody's life. You're sitting on a song right now that could literally change your whole life, change the whole direction of your family. You know what I mean? So that I'm just trying to inspire people on a deeper level. We live in difficult times. We're in difficult times in the world, but we're also in a time where we can actually make something happen. We have the World Wide Web at our fingertips. Hands Vault, I just got here. Why do they want music on? Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, bro, basically what I'm talking about is if you pay attention to the DSPs, Spotify, Apple Music, and if you do your research on some of the music on the charts, you will see that there's a large portion of music on there that is now by fake musicians or AI artists. I can give you an example. Let me actually pull up. There's an artist right now that's topping the charts, more than one, but it's a fake AI artist. And I don't know who's behind it. No hate to them, because I don't even know who's behind it. That's the problem, is we don't know who's behind these fake songs. That's an issue as well. But there's an artist that's an AI artist by the name of Eddie Dalton. Y'all go ahead and Google Eddie Dalton. You'll see that's an AI artist. And essentially songs like that and other AI bands are popping up all over the charts because basically these executives, they know how to manipulate the music streaming game to essentially dominate the charts. Because if you pay your music to get botted and to get playlisted, you can essentially, hold on, I'm losing my voice, y'all. You can essentially manipulate the chart system where you get enough plays, where you then appear on the charts, because we get on the charts now by streams, not by actual sales. But you get 100 million streams, you're going to show up in the Spotify charts. You're going to show up on the Apple Music charts. You're going to show up on the Billboard charts. You understand? And you're going to go gold. You're going to go platinum. So these executives know how to play the game. They know how to find the right people to get the streams, whether they're legitimate or botted streams. There is legitimate streams as well. You can get legitimate streams through playlists, but you can also get botted streams from all over the place. And that these execs manipulate the game and basically get their AI artists on the chart, and then they line their pockets with 100% of the revenue. And so this is how they're kicking real musicians. This is how music is at risk of being gone. What I mean by music, I mean by genuine music made by real people. The reason why it's at risk is because these executives could essentially do a fake song, through an AI program, upload that song to do DSP, and then they could get it botted or they can playlist it, because a lot of these executives actually have the budget. They're already successful. They already got money. So they can, it's nothing for them to take a couple $1,000s and get millions of streams on a song. I just demonstrated that I was early in the game. Me and my brother knew how to manipulate the system legally back in the early 2015 with legitimate YouTube playlists. And it resulted in tens of thousands of new fans and literally tens and millions of plays on each video, where we was able to find the most poppin' playlists on YouTube. And we just took a chance. We didn't know what was going to happen. We had a couple dollars in our pocket. We was already doing well independently. And we just said, hey, let's try to invest $1,300 in promotion every month and see what happens. And we found the top playlists on YouTube, and we basically manipulated the game, and it wound up in getting tens of millions in streams. And also YouTube's AdSense ended up paying us tens of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis, with 10K being around 10K being the most of what we made from the AdSense checks on a monthly basis. But essentially, we figured out how to manipulate the game legitimately and basically line our pockets and basically make it with our music in 2015. What I'm saying to you is that we have an executive mind state, but there's real life executives in the music industry right now who also know how to manipulate the game, whether it's legitimate. You could do it legitimately through legitimate playlists where there's genuine people that are actually becoming fans, but you also can do the botted, which me and my brother didn't use botted because we wanted legitimate streams, because we wanted to make money from AdSense. So we was trying to find a legitimate way. We found that legitimate way by we found the top playlists in the world on YouTube. These playlists had 500 million hits on each playlist. And so we knew that if we got a hold of the person, we knew that our songs were going to be out of here. So luckily, a couple of these people responded. This is back in 2015, not anymore, but this was back in 2015. Two of these people responded, and they wanted money to put us on the playlist. So we were hitting them up with like $1,300 a month, and they were getting 2-3 million views on our songs, because all they had to do is put the song on the playlist. The playlist was already dominating the algorithm. Me and my brother, we would go into a club or a bar, and they'd be playing our music video and be saying, hey, isn't that you guys on TV? That's how popular these YouTube playlists were back in those times. So we were getting all this attention because we were new in the game. So what I'm saying is that these execs are even way more knowledgeable about the tools that are available for people to promote than I am. And they basically go out there and they find legitimate ways to make basically essentially market their AI songs and essentially line their pockets. Now, some of them are finding illegitimate ways, like using bots. And I would never recommend anybody to do that. I do recommend people trying out playlists though, because if you get a legitimate playlist, you can essentially catapult your song to the top and literally line your pockets with good royalty checks. But I actually make my own playlists now. So all my playlists are made with love and they're organic. And I have a lot of fans that hit me up who follow those playlists, which is really cool. And but it is a way to manipulate. You're basically legally manipulating the game when you get on those playlists, because if you get on the right playlist, you can get tens of millions of plays, and then literally your royalty checks are gonna just go through the roof. So hey, if you're a musician and you're releasing stuff to Spotify, definitely figure out how to get on playlists, because it will change your career. It'll change your career, and it'll start bringing you in royalties. I know, because it's still to this day, I'm still getting royalties. Well, from the Spotify playlist. The YouTube playlist game has changed a bit, but I was dominating. Me and my brother were dominating with the YouTube playlist game in 2015, because we were so early on to the playlist game that we were able to manipulate this. We were able to manipulate the game because we knew exactly what to do to promote our song. So I say manipulation because I only say manipulation because most people don't know how to do that. So people just thought that, oh yeah, it just blows up. Sometimes it does, but we were able to get on those playlists, manipulate the game, and line our pockets at that time, and literally gain tens of thousands of new fans and tens of thousands of comments and tens of millions of plays. So that taught us something about really just getting out there and you got to figure out ways that you can get your music heard. Sometimes you got to connect with these TikTok people. Sometimes you got to find a TikTok a TikTok sensation that could put your song in the background of a video. And some of these TikTok people are getting tens of millions of plays on each video. They could literally turn your song into the next hit record. That's just a food for thought. So if you got a really dope single, why not try to hit up some of these TikTok people that have 1 million followers? They can do a little dance to your song on their page, charge you maybe $700 for it. And next thing you know, you got your music, it has just got out to 2-3 million people. And that could catapult it to the top. In fact, that's how the Cookie Kawaii record blew up, because Doja Cat made an organic video because she liked the song, heard the song, made a dance to it. Next thing you know, 300 million streams on that song. And now that record that's my first certified gold record because the way that things move on TikTok. Hands Vault. Yeah. If you got some music, send it to TonySway1@gmail.com, man. But like I said, if y'all just tuning in, I'm just trying to let you know that now is the time for you to really go in with your music. Do not wait. It's going to get harder and more difficult to make it as a musician. These AI artists are literally going to take most of you out of the game, because the reason why I say that is because they're simply able to do more music than the average person. They could put out 100, 1,000 songs in a year because it's just the computer just churning out songs. So if you're a person that won't even put out 2 songs a year, you're going to be in big trouble, man. Unless you're like Taylor Swift and you got 1 billion fans, you're going to be in big trouble if you're that person that only can put out 1 song a year. You got to really go in. Yes, I'm definitely a synth guy, man. Check it out. You can see it right here. I got the Magnolia that's sitting at the top. Hold on. Check it out. That's the Magnolia synthesizer right there. Magnolia. That's from Italy. It's an Italian synthesizer. I got the Moog Muse. That's the Yamaha CP73 stage piano. MPC 20, MPCX actually. And then I got a PRS custom guitar. I'm supposed to be getting another synthesizer. I have synthesizers coming through all the time. I'm thinking about grabbing that UDO, as the new UDO Domino as well. That was a Moog Muse. I just actually sold my Prophet 6, to be honest with you. I'm going to be moving like in a month or two. I'm actually moving to the UK. So I'm always traveling, guys. This place is just a temporary apartment for me I was just here for a little while to make music. But I'm actually going to be headed out to the UK for the next couple years, to be honest. So, but I sold my Prophet 6. I've bought the Prophet 6 twice. I'll actually probably buy it back when I'm in the UK. I have to take breaks from certain keyboards, because what happens is I end up using the same sound over and over again, over and over. And sometimes I have to get rid of it for like a year or two, and then I'll come back. I'll buy it again after a year or two when I miss those sounds. But this year I decided to just put some new stuff in the studio. So I took the money from the Prophet 6 and I bought the Magnolia, which is super expensive. It was a $5,000 synthesizer. So I used part of that Prophet 6 money to buy that, to experiment with new sounds. But I'm probably going to get that Prophet back, probably maybe in the next 6 months, when I start missing some of those sounds again. So I go through a lot. I've pretty much had all the latest synthesizers that's came out in the last 10 years. I would say I've had almost everything. I've had the Moog 1, Nordwave 2, Prophet 10, Prophet X. Man, just a lot of the stuff that's came out. And just like everything, I get tired of things, and I move. I go from country to country a lot. I go back and forth between the UK a lot, and I just get rid of stuff because I just like to move on to new sounds. It's just how I am. But maybe one day I'll start saving some of this. But to me, it's not more so about, it's not necessarily about collecting it. It's more about what is this synthesizer going to give me musically. And then once I get kind of tired of it, I'll let go and try to see what else is out there. You know, I change my synths all the time. It's because I just want a different sound. Every year I want a new sound. I want a different sound every year. And so that's why usually my beats from a couple of years ago, they won't sound exactly like what I'm doing now, because I keep changing new keyboards. I just want to keep experimenting. What's good? I appreciate you. Man, I've been on for it's an hour and 25 minutes. I appreciate everybody for checking in. Also, I want to thank Ben Chillwell 7498 for donating. So you guys can do a super chat like that. You can do a super chat just like they did as well. So feel free, because I'm losing my voice trying to help everybody. The least you could do is drop me a couple coins and help out with my move, because I'm going to be moving in a couple months. So, and it's expensive to move, y'all, but thank God for these royalty checks that I was talking about earlier. Like I said, because music is my life. I've made it my life, and I'm blessed to be in a position where I've gotten enough royalty checks where I can literally live my life and travel and do the things that I like to do. And it's truly a blessing to be able to buy the equipment that I enjoy, and be able to go to another country. And I love living life like that. It's a blessing. I get this freedom, you know what I mean? So freedom to do the things that I want to do. But yeah, that's pretty much, man, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. But if you're just tuning in, I'll probably be on for a few more minutes. But I truly appreciate everybody for tuning in. I just want to keep y'all inspired. And I hope that you don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your music. And even if my old friends are tuning in, I love y'all. Don't take what I said as offensive thing. Deep down, I'm a very angry person, not because I'm mean, but my anger comes from seeing people suffer for no reason. Like, I hate seeing people suffer when they can change just because they don't have the belief. Some of you suffer because you don't have the belief. Hey, Hands Volt, I appreciate you. Thanks for dropping that $4.99 super chat. Shout out to you. That's a really nice thing to do. Appreciate you. Nacho Jera, appreciate you. But what it is I hate seeing people suffer by not following their dreams, because that's kind of what ends up happening is you talk to an old friend, or you talk to somebody, and you see that it's hurting them, that they're not truly following their passion. And that makes me, I feel bad, because I'm like, man, like, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. You can make this music a reality, you know, even if it's not the traditional way. Maybe you just start a YouTube channel like me, and you find a way to release your music on YouTube videos and share it with the world. And maybe you make a living. Like, there's all kinds of different kind of musicians out there. You got all kinds of different kind of musicians out there. You got the producers who lease beats. You got all the beat leasing pages. You got, you know, artists who just upload their independent music and they get traction that way. You got people who demonstrate keyboards like me that are making a living from their music. And of course, not everybody's going to be a millionaire, but hey, what if you can make 100K plus from uploading your music on a YouTube? Would you do it? Because hey, that's still a career. That's still 100K. It's still from doing something that you love and that you truly are passionate about. Why not give it a try, man? You know, or maybe you will make $1 million. Maybe you have a hit song that's going to truly inspire a lot of people and going to blow up. Why not try to push it out there? Why not go ahead and just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put these songs out. I'm just going to see what happens. Regardless of what happens, you're following your passion. You're doing something that you care about, and you're going to feel better about it. And if you try hard enough, I bet you will succeed. Anybody that tries hard enough, they will succeed on some level. Even if it's not the multi-million-dollar level, you're going to succeed on some kind of level if you try hard enough. And pretty much that's what I've been talking about on the stream, is wanting to see people fulfill their passions and do the things that they truly love. Let's see, Kane, you said, I'm not a musician, I'm a visual artist, and I feel as if AI was made to attack artists in the whole art industry at large. But at the end of the day, I've noticed that people value originality. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I think real listeners still want to hear real music. Part of the problem is people don't always know when something is a real song. So people are being duped into following some of these songs, and they don't even know that they don't know it's not a real, genuine music. And that's part because the average listener, I'll call my wife out. So my wife was a fan of a song that was AI, and she didn't know. She just said, "Oh, I like this new artist, and here's the title." And I looked it up, and I said, "Hey, baby, do you know that this is an AI artist? This is not a real person." She couldn't tell because when I heard it, I got suspicious and I did my research because I have an ear where I can kind of tell when something's AI, but she's more of a casual listener, and she couldn't tell. So that's kind of the problem is they can flood the market. They can flood Spotify. They can flood Apple Music with this AI, with these AI artists. And the average listener doesn't always know that they're listening to that. And that's why it's a problem. So it presents a problem for real musicians, because unless you're willing to compete with that and put your music out on a high level, it becomes harder for the real musician. So that's kind of what I'm talking about in this video. I just want people to be aware that it's no longer another artist or another musician that's your competition. We're competing with fake artists now. We're competing with computers and algorithms. And that's just that's the 2026 reality. And we're just in the very beginning of it. And I don't want people to be scared. I want you to be motivated I want you to be motivated and challenge yourself to try harder, because you can still make something out of your music, but you do need to be aware that they are flooding these systems with all that AI slop, that's what they call it. Let's see. Nacho, you said, since which age did you start with music? I struggle between learning guitar and piano at the same time. I started playing the piano, AKA synthesizer, at 12. My mom picked me up a keyboard from the pawn shop. It was maybe a $12 keyboard from the pawn shop. And then when she got a little bit more money, she purchased a $300 Radio Shack keyboard. That was the ish. I used to love that Radio Shack keyboard. It was like the dopest keyboard in town. This is long before I knew of Guitar Center or any of those kind of places. So I had this cool little $300 Radio Shack keyboard, and man, I used to make so much music on that. And I would learn I would just be playing, I'd play Michael Jackson, Prince. I got to grab some water. I'd play Michael Jackson, Prince, Al B. Sure, New Edition, even rock music. White Snake, Is This Love? I would play whatever was on the radio, Paula Abdul, anything that had a beat to it, and I'd try to learn it on these keyboards. Anything and everything. So yeah, if that answers, hopefully that answers your question. I'd just try to play anything and everything. Anything that was on the radio: Color Me Bad, Boyz II Men, New Edition, Snoop Dogg, Tupac. What else did I try to learn? Journey songs. So I've listened to everything. I've listened to R&B, soul, jazz, rock music. I never really got into country, I'll admit that. I'm aware of country music though. I didn't mind. You know what actually I was a fan of? How many of y'all remember Garth Brooks, right? This is not really a country channel, but he actually had a alter ego where he worked with Babyface. So Garth Brooks, who is formerly known as like a country artist, he actually worked with Babyface and he made like a super fire R&B album. So some of y'all probably don't know that, but he called himself Christopher Gaines and he made a super fire R&B album. Y'all should look that up. So shout out to him, man. That was nobody expected that. Nobody expected that from him, but he actually did very well. And Babyface was behind the production and the songwriting, and they made some pretty dope stuff. Even what's his name actually did a cover of it. That one, I forgot his name, something Glover. I forgot his first name, but he actually covered the Chris Gaines, which is actually Garth Brooks. He actually covered that song, and it was produced by Babyface and whatnot. But again, I just listened to everything that was on the radio and I try to mimic it on the synthesizer. And eventually I started figuring things out. And that's kind of how I started, man. He said, yeah, for sure. Some get deceived. There's an AI song that's trending on Instagram, rock music, where it's very dope, but I also got suspicious and did my research and it was AI. Yeah, a lot of us can get duped, and it's very hard to tell to the average set of ears. It just is. So it is what it is. They're taking advantage of the game. I can't really, there's not much I can say. There's legitimate producers like Timbaland who are getting behind the move, and he's getting behind that move and making AI. He's producing AI artists from the ground up and capitalizing off of it. I don't know if his have been successful yet, but I'm a Timbaland fan. I'm a huge fan of him, so I have nothing negative to say about him. I don't necessarily support that in particular, but I can't say anything negative about Timbaland. I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm a student of his music, so I'm not gonna. Like I said, I also have a friend that he's dabbling with AI, and but he's writing the full song, so he's not just taking something and just acting like it's him. He's actually writing the full song and then generating an artist from the AI. But that's and shout out to him. He's a good friend of mine. But I'm not necessarily making this video to try to down the people that are experimenting. I'm more so just saying that there's going to be more of this kind of stuff popping up on these Spotify's and these Apple Music systems, and we're being forced to compete with it. And that's just the reality. And these music companies and these copyright companies, they don't necessarily have a stronghold on everything legally. The legalities of everything hasn't been worked out all the way. So there's tens of thousands of songs popping up on Spotify and Apple Music that are AI on a regular basis that you can look that up. You can actually Google that. It's been verified that there's tens of thousands of uploads of these AI songs being uploaded on a weekly basis. So we're being forced to compete with this kind of music, whether we like it or not. So that's just my warning to the people like me who are truly passionate, who are diehard musicians. I just want you guys to be aware that you're going to have to try a lot harder to let the world hear your music. And if you don't try now, it might get to a point where the system will be so diluted, it'll just be that much harder to get heard, And we got to take advantage of the system that we got to take advantage of, the tools at hand. Take advantage of the market. Take advantage of the market while you can. Start yourself a YouTube music page. Start uploading your music. Start doing videos of yourself making your music. If you're a synthesizer person like me, make videos of you and your synthesizers. Talk about your keyboards. Anything that relates to your love and passion for the music, whether it's sharing the process of you creating your songs, uploading the songs, showing how you put together your tracks, showing them what equipment you buy. We need to be super creative in how we communicate with our audience. And that's just the world that we live in. But we're lucky to basically be in a position where we can essentially share our gift with the world. We live in a time where we can literally share our music with the World Wide Web in so many different ways. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And hopefully I didn't scare any subscribers away. In the beginning of the video, I was pretty angry for the right reasons, though. My anger comes from love. The anger that I have comes from love because I get tired. I'm tired of seeing musicians suffer when they could be making a living off their art, because that would make me so happy to see that, because I've been able to do that. I've been able to live a life of freedom, travel when I want. I can travel when I feel like it. I can bring my music equipment with me. It's been a blessing, you know? So I just get angry when I see people with talent and they don't utilize that talent, because I want all of you to be successful and happy and fulfilled. That was my dream for you, and I'm doing it for myself. I'm blessed to wake up every and I just want the same for you, and possibly at an even higher level. Maybe you'll make $10 million, 20 million. Maybe you'll make 30 million as a musician. Maybe you'll make 100,000 a year. Maybe you'll make 70,000 a year as a musician. Maybe you'll make 50 to 60K as a musician a year. Literally, if you can do any of those, you're literally living your dream. Or even if you make 10 to 20,000 a year off your music, you know what I mean? Like, even if you can make any, it's all to the good, because you're doing your dream. You're doing your dream. And that's all what I'm talking about today. I want to see you guys succeed in your music, and that's about it. So I think I'm going to go take a walk outside. You can check out the weather. It's a pretty nice day outside. The lake is looking really nice, and I'll probably come back in later and jam on some music. But taking you guys out with the view. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. God bless everybody. I love you all. Feel free to donate your super chats. You can also go support at tonyswaymusic.com by purchasing a sound kit, not a Kit Kat bar, but a sound kit or a beat. And or you can just simply put a super chat if you found any kind of value in this video. I appreciate you. Take care. Until next time, do what you do. Bless everybody. Talk to you soon. Peace.